I think the stand of the church is very categorical and emphatic. If you read Canon 1055, it tells you that the marriage covenant between a man and a woman has been raised to the status of a sacrament, because we know that Jesus himself is a sacrament. And therefore, when you read Matthew chapter 19, when the people went to ask him if a man has to divorce the wife, Jesus explained that this is what my Father did. He put man and woman together, and they became one. And for that matter, they are no longer two, they are one. And if two people are coming to be one, two people of diverse, let's say, minds come together to be one, then it becomes a sacrament. It's something God has made it something sacramental. And so in the church, we see marriage as a sacrament. It goes beyond what mind can maybe understand.
The Bishop of Sekondi Takoradi Diocese, Most Reverend John Atakru, entreated the faithful in Ghana to be innovative in their Christian lives without watering down the gospel values. In other words, Catholics are encouraged to make the church present in every facet of their lives by upholding the gospel values.
I use an expression to actually summarize what I meant by saying creative fidelity. I mean, the church will always be the church of Christ. No matter what, it's not ours. The church is always the church of Christ, and therefore the church somehow is divine. Was that kind of theology of incarnation, that is at work. Just as Jesus himself, who is God, became man, so too the church is. Because you might think that we are the church and we live the divine element, but the church is the people of God. Whether you like it or not, the divine aspect is there. People called to participate in the divine Trinity. And that's what we need to look at. God never changes the same. But we human beings, we change. Time and place will make us change. So in always thinking about renewal, we must also think about the definitely unchangeable things or changeable elements, the divine in the church, that must always be there.
The saying goes that Ecclesia semper reformanda. The church is always reforming itself. So the time has come, and the Pope, I'm sure he has looked at the signs of the times, and he feels that no, we have to do something to be abreast. So this synod on synodality, at least from the experience from the dioceses, the parishes, it has sparked off some life. One is asking whether the questions are relevant. Yes, they are. If we really take them seriously and go deep, they are. And the Pope has insisted that it should not be an event. It should not be something to produce a document, but it should be a process, something that should spark some new life in the church, just as Vatican II, when the Pope John the 23rd said, open the windows, let the Holy Spirit blow in again, and let there be revival, restoration, renewal. So it is the hope of some of us that this synod is going to bring renewal. Everybody is worried about the census figures that were released recently, showing that there's a decline in our numbers. No, we cannot continue to do the same thing and expect a change. Something must change from the grassroots.
The role of women in the church was keenly discussed. It was realized that though women form majority of the faithful, they are not adequately involved in decision-making process of the church.
Yes, we form the majority. They are enthusiastic about the women's activities itself, but offering themselves for leadership position in the church has not been forthcoming. I don't know whether due to lack of time Maybe that's one, because for dedication, the women are really dedicated. But leaving their children to go far distances to get so much involved is what it's like. And I just pray and hope that women will take responsible leadership in the church, because they carry the majority. They carry weight. In fact, without them, the church cannot move on. And if we are doing such a spiritual job, then it behoves on us to take leadership roles so that we can make concrete, we can make very good decisions that will help the church as a whole, and then women in general, but the church as a whole.
The issue of women participation came up strongly, and rightly it was pointed out that there are some lapses, but that is the fruit of the synod. So that if there are areas where women are not given their rightful place, this is the time that the Holy Spirit is calling on both the clergy and the episcopate to look into the matter of women full participation in the church, and not only in the church but in economic and political affairs, in ecology.
The social media and all that it entails was mentioned on this historic occasion. How would the church harness the social media to advance the cause of the church's mission?
But we must take hold of the social media. Take hold of. In fact, COVID-19 has shown us that yes, there's so much we can do with social media. We must invade the space of social media with gospel values. We must evangelize social media, put things out there rather than the rubbish, the junk that people are being fed with. We must go there with the truth, and the truth is Jesus Christ. So we shouldn't be afraid of social media. We shouldn't run away from it. No, that's the way to go. If people are there, we must go there. If people are in the dance hall, we must go there. If people are in the ghettos, we must go there. We must follow them wherever they are with the gospel truth, with Jesus Christ, who is light of the world.
Our Holy Father, if I could remember, Francis said that the social media is a special gift that Jesus is giving our generation. We neglect sites that corrupt us, and we focus on using the social media to achieve the mission of Christ. The social media is a very veritable instrument of evangelization and synodality. We can work together more through Zoom, through WhatsApping, through other exchanges, neglecting, sifting out what does not encourage morality, and focus on what will lead us to our eternal destiny.
So when you talk about social media, I think you're talking about communication. It's so important. In fact, we can't do away with social media and all the advances technology is making. In fact, it is at the service of the proclamation of the gospel. We need to use it. We need to utilize it. You will never believe how much the good news is going to people through these little ways dioceses have now developed in their Episcopal offices through Facebook and that thing. What we are doing right here is being worked all over the world. And our youth are so caught up in this media frenzy that that's where you can get them.
Talking about the youth brings their involvement in the Episcopal phase of this synod in focus.
What I personally came out to realize was that the very young people, for one reason or the other, we didn't most probably include enough of them. I'm looking at the young people below the ages of 29, because if you look at the World Youth Day programs, now Rome is insisting and recommending highly that our youth should be 29 years and below. And so I would say that maybe we would have to find a way of injecting the opinion of the young people below the ages of 29 into what we have been able to do so far, because they are the future. I mean, if you take it that in Africa, young people below the ages of 35 form more than 60 to 70% of the population, and therefore in the church they also are a veritable group to reckon with.
In recapping the activities of this Episcopal phase of the Synod,